Привет! Меня зовут Який the Free. Приятно познакомиться. Как дела? Это хорошо, это хорошо. А, Пора идти на работу. Вагон Редстар Jutski. Hey everybody, this is Yaki the Free on my free-to-play account. I think it's day 111. I think so. It is day 111. And I'm going to show you an in-depth guide on my Fire Knight Hard 1 team. But to begin with, that was my uh, kind of atrocious attempt at Russian. A couple words I don't think I've ever tried in Russian before. But I was just saying, easy, simple greetings. And then it's time to get to work. We're going to try Fire Knight Hard. That's something special to tie into that. There is this place called the Shining of Karakum, and it's the Darvaza gas crater in Turkmenistan. Now, Russian isn't their official language, but it's one of four that their people will speak, and I don't know any Turkmenistan. But anyways, the reason that I picked it is this natural gas field has been burning since the 1980s. However, the entire gas field collapsed into this huge crater, and there's fire burning for 40 years, almost 50 years, coming out of this hole in the ground. And they've nicknamed it the door to hell. How fitting. We'll do some Fire Knight Hard as we talk about the door to hell. First of all, let's go into the missions and see where we are on the account in the Marius Missions. I need to try and get one mythical artifact from any dungeon. As far as I know, the deeper you go into the level of difficulty, like, hard 5 or hard 10, there's a slight difference in drop rates on mythicals. I don't know if it's a fact or not. I think it is. I think I've heard it. I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. I can go into Dragon 5 and sit there until I get one mythical artifact. But I want to do it within, a couple days so that I can get this magic keep or magic Iron Twins done. So if we go into the dungeons and we take a look at, it's going to open in 2 days. Okay, for me, it's Thursday. I'm 5 hours behind the games, or 4 hours or whatever. So it's going to be 2 days. I have to get some kind of a mythical artifact. And if we look at my dragon, I've cleared hard dragon 10 long time ago. I don't know if I could farm 5. I haven't gone into 5 since I ran from stage 4 all the way to 7, just like that, and I never came back. But as you're looking here, I can sit in stage 2 quite happily and farm the shit out of that until a mythical relic comes. Or I can go back into Spider Hard 1. I don't like Ice Golem. Takes too long. It's always 100%, but it's like a 7-minute battle. There's a ×2 chance coming. By the way, that free primal we got from the reward calendar, did not expect that. I was guessing it was going to be an ancient shard. So if the trend keeps up, maybe they'll give us a void and a sacred, and then we'll get Artur's final frag. That'd be fantastic. It'd be a little sad if they did give us a sacred, but not during the ×2. So I don't know what's coming. Obviously, it's probably some kind of piece of gear again. Whatever it is, free rewards for a free legendary hero. Sign me up. Thank you very much. Let's go into my hard Fire Knight team. I remember when I first tried this without Criodan the Blue during the free-to-play challenge, and I almost did it. Now I haven't failed, but I have to manual the boss. So this isn't going to be a how-to auto guide because I don't know how to auto. I might on this account. I don't want to waste the energy since I haven't been successful before. Arbiter. I'm going to keep Lightning Cage on Arbiter as her blessing because eventually I'm going to hopefully be in the gold live arena and Lightning Cage is the meta. I'm happy I chose it. It gives extra boss damage for me on, the clan bosses that I do over her, what everybody normally picks from Arbiter. I'm not going through any of the skills on these heroes except for Criodan the Blue. I will show you their masteries and you can pause, take a look down the side there at the masters, but they all have a War Master or Giant Slayer, depending on multi-hitting A1s, except for Criodan the Blue. And Actually, Coldheart has a helm smasher. Before I get too silly, there's what's important for these heroes is the War Master procs helps take down the boss. Okay, and if you don't know much about Fire Knight Heart, I still don't really, but he's a tough fight. That's all I actually know about that boss. So I don't think I have any area bonuses. Oh, I picked up a little bit of speed. So Arbiter's at 289 speed. Okay. She's got 3,400 defense. I put on a nice chest for her. And her accuracy at 200. Now she lands the weekend fairly often, even on hard. Okay. It's pretty good. And a bunch of resist at 270. Not bad, not too bad. And I'll show you, again, the chest here. Big fat defense and some resistance speed. Obviously, I wish this was HP percentage. Not too shabby for Arbiter. This impulse set, I've always had on her since I was able to get the 6-star boots, but it adds, 12% speed and a 12% chance to reduce a cooldown. So Arbiter can, keep getting her A2 and boosting people's speed. Fat resistance banner. I maxed it out only because it was resistance and it got the first ascension accuracy. So I said, you know what? I'm going to max this out with the speed for the time being. It's been working. Now we have Tagoar. God, I love Tagoar. And I bet you people will tell you you're not supposed to use this guy for Fire Knight Heart. He's not a Fire Knight Heart hero. My Tagoar is. Even before he had the 6-star soul with emergency heal blessing. My Tagoar was definitely that. And he's 195 scrolls short of picking up some kind of another mastery. None of them really mattered. Maybe I get him Spirit Haste, so when everyone dies, he has 24 more speed, maybe in the future. But he's got straight down the other side, War Master, and I give everybody, I'd rather give them Life Drink because they have War Master in clan boss fights, Hydra and whatever, that if they're below 50% and they proc and they do a total hit of 125k, it's a bit of a heal, man. It's like 6k heal, especially if they have the support blessings that boost some of that. Anyways, I don't think that matters actually. Part of me is the defensive blessing for the heals they receive. Whatever. Tagoar, defense banner. Absolutely perfect. Either resistance or defense. HP is what people will tell you. Eventually, I'd like to get my Tagoar 100k HP. It's not necessary right now. But look at the speed and 20% attack almost with 9. This is pretty good stuff for Tagoar. And he doesn't need accuracy. So I won't glyph out something he doesn't need, but it gives him a big old fat bit of HP there. So he's in a bit of a mismatched sets on the far right side. And again, look, the only reason he's got these gloves is because look at that ascension and stuff, like 60% HP boost, resistance, a little bit of speed. He doesn't need accuracy. So eventually I might put this on somebody like some HP nuker, whoever I can put it on. Okay. But also what's important for Tagoar, resistance chest. So I'll show you the resistance on Tagoar in Fire Knight absolutely makes a difference. I wish I could get him over 300, but currently, he's at 295 with 237 speed, almost 3k defense, but 72,000 HP. He does work. And before I forget, on the relics, the demonic effigy here, and you'll see his turn meter increases by 10% when any ally dies. So if one dies, it's 10%. If 3 die, it's 30%. There's no cooldown. So his speed increases by 2 as well for any dead ally. It's a decent gem, I don't get many gems on this account. And his turn meter boost effects that he receives from Arbiter are 10% more effective. Nice bit of resistance and HP. Let's look at Arbiter's Journal of Necrotos. And her turn meter increase effects are 10% more effective on the wearer. Okay. So this heals and turn meter increase effects applied to allies are boosted by 15%. So 2/3 of Arbiter's kit does those things. So she's getting a 15% boost to that stuff. I have Alice. It's been a while maybe since I showed my Alice. She's still essentially the exact same hero. She's got this ignore 3% of the target's defense if it's under 2 or more debuffs. Fairly often, anything she hits is under that. And she also applies a brimstone every so often, right? But she's got a 20% chance to deal 10% more damage from this rare Malfic talent. 21% crit damage is definitely why I have it on her. And my Alice masteries, Giant Slayer. All the way. She's obviously max masteries because she's my solo for Minotaur 15 all the way. And she kills things, right? This is a completely hybrid build on my Alice. And I gave her, is it not Eagle Eye? What's the name of this that knocks their turn meters down? I forget the name of this skill, but she decreases the turn meter the first time she hits them with her A2 and her A1. So that helps. That helped me clear the Sacred Order. But in Alice's total stats in Relentless gear, always remember this is Relentless, so she's got a chance to, especially in Fire Knight, it's nice when she procs those chances. She'll have 219 speed, little over 5k attack. Her defense, I wish I could get another 500 on there. Eventually I will. But 288 crit damage, right on crit cap, massive accuracy, and a little bit of resist at 155. But these gloves, man, I would like to flash them again. I picked these up like 2.5 months ago. My favorite gloves. 6-star crit damage gloves with crit rate, attack, speed, accuracy. This was a unicorn. On the first shot, I think it rolled the crit ascension, crit rate ascension. You can't ask for better gloves. I don't even need to send them any further. She's crit cap, so if I need to adjust, I can pick up 9 more crits somewhere. That's my Alice. Coldheart has been in the same stuff as well for a long time. I don't know if I have a relic on her. Yeah, she's got the Malefic talent. It makes a lot of sense. I don't have another triangle gemstone, or she'd have it. But down here, you'll see I gave Coldheart the cycle of violence. So she has a 30% chance to reset a cooldown when she does damage to a hero. Let's make sure I've read this correct here. 30% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill if she inflicts 30% more of the target's max HP in damage. And her Heartseeker can definitely sometimes do that on certain heroes, depending because of this flawless execution part of me. It gives an extra 20% crit damage. Forget about the other stuff on the Coldheart. It's built for also faction wars for me. Okay? I'm not a Coldheart specialist. This is the best one I've ever built on my account. And in Fire Knight's Castle, she comes in with 190, almost 200 speed, 3k attack's not bad. She's hard to keep alive, man. Look at her base defense over here on the left. It's only 738. So as a 5-star blessing, picking up some more defense, like she wouldn't be able to do this without that, I don't think. But she's got 387 accuracy. I don't want her to miss her turn meter decrease. It doesn't matter in Fire Knight Hard. You can't decrease this turn meter unless you're using a freeze ability. But she's also at 300% crit damage. An Arbiter only needs 70% crit rate for her beast skill, the Heart Seeker, because it also has a 30% extra chance to crit. And the other skills, I don't care if they crit or not. But if we take a look at the build that she's in, I got very lucky with this Zeal set. So it also does, pardon me, it also gives her 20% crit damage, and she gets an extra, when she's at max HP, 12% more damage when she's at max HP. That's why she has that. An accuracy chest. I'd rather it be defense if I could, but I want to make sure she was over 370 accuracy. That was my goal. And some excellent, excellent gloves, Pharaoh gauntlets, 6-star crit damage, double defense roll with a crit. This is exactly what I wanted for Coldheart, except I wish the attack was percent. Eh, Whatever though, man. It's pretty hard to attain Pharaoh gear to begin with. Obviously, her boots, everybody's got speed on the boots, and a Pharaoh helm just to round out the crit damage. So, Criodan the Blue. I'll put some gear on them and I'll show you how easy it is, especially when it's a free gear removal thing. This is this dude's masteries. Quite lacking. This is no blessing. There's his relic. Pretty lacking. Okay. What's important is every so often this revenge banner obviously will proc. It's got a 5% chance, but it's got 17 speed when I rolled it. Kept that. A little bit of accuracy, and you'll see crit damage on the amulet. I'd rather more defensive stuff. My Criodan isn't there for damage. So to send him into Hard Fire Knight 1 naked, it's not going to work. I'm going to hit Filter, Preset Manager, Global Presets. And as I've shown previously, I name my global presets for who they normally sit on. So if I want to try it on, I know who it goes back to by coming back to this screen. So I use I think it was Venomage, yeah, to give this guy some pretty big stats, right? And I'll show you in a second here how easy it is to send back the gear, okay? So Venomage is naked, right? Uh-oh, where's the gear? I forgot who I put that on. Who took that one piece? Even if I only swapped out one piece, this is how easy it is to re-gear Venomage. I take a look at Venomage's name and it's showing Criodan's face. Well, I want Venomage to have that gear back. Venomage is now geared. It's that easy. Once you get into the habit, I was apprehensive myself at first, but during free gear swapping, and you hear big content creators saying, now I got to remember who did what. There's 50 presets you can have. I feel sorry for anyone that they need more than that. Then maybe you just got to write it down. But that's my method to keep track of who's wearing what. So Criodan, in his skills. Let's look at his skill first. This is the big one for the boss. He's got a 35% chance on each hit to put a freeze debuff. So on Fire Knight Hard, each time you hit him with a freeze, it drops turn meter by 15%, I think it is. For the trash, he attacks all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown, and he's a 2-time hitter with a 65% chance to freeze them all for 1 turn. And he doesn't use any of this Blessing of the Blue on the boss. Okay, that's why I have Arbiter for that speed. But it's passive. He turn meter fills by 5% for each freeze debuff placed by this hero. So while he's wearing Venomage's gear, he's got some fairly decent stats for Fire Knight Hard. 230 speed. His defense is high. Again, as I said, I don't care about his power. Pardon me for coffee. A little bit of resist, but over 350 accuracy. That's all I really care about is that he's faster than the boss by a lot and he's accurate so that his A1 has a chance to hit the boss. I'm not going to go too deep into his gear, but I'll show you the gloves. Nice 50% crit rate, good rolls, speed. That's what's helping my Venomage in Clan Boss. Let's go into Hard Fire Knight 1, boys and girls. And this, I agree with most people that say this, or pardon me, I agree with every person that says this. This is the hardest of the hards. And I don't have any energy, so we'll just spend a little bit of gems there. I'm like 400 points, 80 points away from finishing the champ training. So I don't mind spending some there. I'm not going for the Lady Suckmakagi, what do you call it there? Her soul. So bear with it. You can skip ahead. I don't really care. Obviously, you do what you like, but I'll show you how the trash waves work as well. It's about 2 minutes of trash, but I've got a manual like the last 5 or 6 turns on the trash. So I A1 cycle and I have to manual the boss fight. Maybe later I'll try it to see if it'll just go on auto on its own. I'm not a fan of throwing away 20 energy, just hoping that RNG gives you this improbable chance. I'm going to do this on a video. I'm going to make sure I can do it for you before I try any kind of willy-nilly shit. But anywho, you'll see that Criodan in the blue here, like Alice is going to be the hard carry in the waves for damage. But Coldheart's going to show up for the boss because of her Heart Seeker. Even though you can't deplete his turn meter, my Coldheart A3 is hitting this boss for 290,000. And she can get 3 off if I'm lucky, but she also dies quite often. So Tagoar and Arbiter are there to pick her up and boost her. There's something else that was nasty about this fight that I didn't know, so I changed my technique a little bit. But if you attack the boss without a shield on, you take max HP damage. Every time you hit the boss or whatever, you target them, he like burns your flesh forever, I guess, right? So that's why Tagoar works for me in here because he applies that shield. Instead of trying to slip somebody in a bolster set for just a little bit, I messed around in the Hell Hades free to play challenge. I'd rather just do it how it's been 100% successful thus far. And I think it would be fantastic. Again, if I fail on the video, I won't do the run again. We're going to do it one and done. It's been 100% as long as I'm manual starting right about here. You know, it's a pain in the ass that the AI just can't get the job done properly for you if you leave it to auto, even with the setup. But it's partially my fault because of how I have my people masteried and geared and whatnot. And you may notice my big damage dealers, I don't hit the frozen targets with Alice. First of all, they're not going to do any damage, and they take less damage when they're frozen. So I'd rather my Alice, take care of whoever is still alive. And hopefully, Gorelos will unfreeze, and maybe I can show you how strong Criodan's A1 really is. I want to freeze this Gorelos for you. Please freeze him. And he didn't freeze him. But that's okay. We're on our way back up to the boss here. By the way, this is one of my all-time favorite skins. For some reason, there's just something about Gorelos that I love. So I'm going to boost with Arbiter to start. Not just for the attack, but I want everybody to have that meter boost. Right? Everybody's ready to go. Tagoar gives them the speed boost. So the boss takes 15 hits. More than likely, my Coldheart is going to do 5 hits every time because she has the 5-star Phantom Touch. Now I'm going to shield everybody, and Coldheart still might die. Like the boss can crit, and there was no turn meter depletion. Let's see if Alice can put on a Brimstone. Nope. So what's important here now is that Arbiter got fortunate and she can boost again, and I want to make sure I get a heal reduction debuff on. That's the other reason that my Coldheart has to have that much, what do you call it? Accuracy. Come on, Criodan. Oh, he's slacking for the video here, man. So I'm not going to use Arbiter's meter boost when everybody's ready to go, and I think the boss is going to kill my Coldheart anyways. I'd rather save all the meter boost and reses for after this shield slam. Oh, it was Criodan this time. How interesting. So you notice, pardon me, I don't use Tagoar's speed boost and heal until after I picked everyone up and healed them the best I can with Arbiter. So now I can do it. And this is what's good about heals that hit the boss. This is why, or hit a target while they heal. Because now Tagoar took, one turn off of the boss. So a shield opened, and that meant that that last hit from Criodan was able to reduce turn meter. That's huge. So I'm going to shield everybody. And I think, yeah, should be a nice heart seeker coming here at 291,000. I think it is. Let's find out. Whoop, 291,000. So again, you can't deplete Hard Fire Knight's turn meter unless you freeze him. So that's why I guess Newt is so good. And Coldheart's always going to die there if she has decreased defense on. There's no way she's going to survive. But I'll be able to pick her up on Arbiter's next turn and then heal her with Tagoar. And that's the cycle. And that's a big task at first when you look. You're like, man, that shield, 15 hits. And so far, Alice hasn't had any relentless procs. So that kind of hurts, right? But now Coldheart is going to have an open boss to hopefully apply. I need that heal reduction debuff. Without that, it's a problem. Come on. So now Tagoar, I think Tagoar might have his shield ability ready again. Perfect. So this should be an okay run, I think. Yeah, wow, they got a lot. I guess he crit Criodan on that very first move because that was the most HP they would ever have is at the beginning, obviously. So I'm going to boost everybody with Arbiter. And that's the key in this fight, just like my Khmer battles, right? And my Ultra Nightmare Clan boss. I just meter boost, meter boost, meter boost. And Criodan's not landing it too much. So Coldheart is still good here, viable as well, because she can place that poison. That's huge. Now I will. Ooh, no, I won't. Because Tagoar's res is on a big cooldown, right? So I'll make sure that I'm fairly certain Arbiter lives. So I want her. There you go, Alice. I want Arbiter to res because Coldheart and Criodan, they're probably dead. And you'll see, obviously, by now, you could probably, if you watch and figure out why I can't do this on auto with this lineup. Because Arbiter would have used some of her skills already that right now the boss is going to kill probably two people. And everything would be on cooldown to bring them back. Oh, that's crazy that it's only Criodan getting slaughtered, eh? And Alice just not procking at the beginning for the video, eh? I don't care if Alice procs Relentless when the shield is down. I want it when it's up because she's a triple hitting A1. But as you're noticing, even with my people dying and stuff, and as long as it's not Coldheart, which is really odd to me, it's the first time it's been Criodan who just reduced turn meter. Thank you, Criodan. I knocked on this asshole's door, the gates to hell here, and I think I'm going to take care of the boss down in this pit of fire. And you can be successful as well. As you see, I'm using Coldheart. I don't know who I would sub Coldheart in for if I didn't have her, because that heal reduction debuff, as you're noticing, the boss is getting turns, and he's not healing at all, and he's about to die here. Thank you very much, Coldheart. Let's put another poison on. Yeah. Now, eventually, this is perfect. You can just beat through the boss's shield as well. Once you get the boss, down to a certain threshold. And Criodan, I think, only got 2 turn meter reductions. It's a little odd. This fight normally is 2 minutes less, but whatever. So hopefully, when you're playing this game and you set yourself up, Alice, perfect time to proc. I called her out. She said, "Okay, coach, I got it." Again, it might be an unorthodox team, but hopefully, like as I say, when you're playing this game, you look at the roster that you have and you're willing to do a little trial and error once or twice, like I did. I know the team's effective. I know. Oh, I should have. I apologize. I should have killed the boss with Coldheart's Heartseeker. What a what a non-good and a blue shield to boot with that. Anyways, if we look at the damage, I don't think you can see it, but Alice did 2.6 million damage. And Tagoar has 850,000 heals. But the first clear that I did yesterday during the missions, look at this. An Ancient Shard and a 6-star Epic Savage Shield that had speed and crit on it, crit rate percentage. That was huge. I was very happy. So hopefully that little bit of a guide, whatever you get from there, can show you what you might require for your own team to be successful in Fire Night Hard for these, which I find easier than Marius Missions because I'm not a PvP guy. So Romantu, I don't know if I'd ever get Romantu, but I'm well on my way now. Once I get this mythic artifact out of the way, the rest of this Marius Missions stuff, you can look in your own for yourself. You'll see it. It's pretty grindy only. Not much that I need to worry about on that first part of it. Have a great day, everyone. This was Yaki to the Free on my free to play account, day 111. Easy, easy progress daily until about this week when it was all the hard dungeons. But I trained my troops early on, got fortunate with +1s on some of them. As you saw, Criodan in the blue. He's more of an MVP than the scoreboard would obviously show. Have a good day, everyone. Paka paka.